All right, everybody, good evening. Welcome to the PH Alliance, Prosperity and Health Alliance with a Heart. I'm going to be your host this evening, Creel Hutchinson, coming to you live from Vancouver, BC, November 30th, the last day of the month. And my fellow co-host, Siha Top, is currently on a mission in San Diego, working with his business leaders and team down there. So he will not be joining us this evening. And our good friend Wade Lightheart is in Bali, and he's trying to get remotely dialed into the webinar. So he may be able to jump on, he may not. We'll see. But once again, it's an example of our Enagic global business. And as the leaders grow, you find yourself, going all over the world. So hopefully Wade can join us regardless. I've got some slides and some words to share this evening, and we're also going to welcome a lot of feedback and questions from the field. So without further ado, as always, we've got Kimberly in the back taking care of us. She's kind of a control center. So thanks again, Kim. Let's jump into it and move forward. So as you all know, we are currently in 101 days of all-out massive action, and we are definitely in the home stretch. And we've been doing great. September, October, November have been awesome months for the entire PH Alliance. We've been getting a bunch of new 6As, and basically we've got about 3 weeks left to really wrap up 2015 with a storm, have an awesome holiday break, and then get back onto it in January. So let me just spend some time. What I want to focus on this evening is the idea of professional versus amateur mindset and activity, because it's been something that I've been learning myself over the years. 9 years in the direct selling industry, 5 years with Enagic, really finding my home here. But it's been a learning lesson all the way along of really understanding what it takes to get traction in my business, what it takes to get traction with my leaders and downlines and people in different places. And as you know, I'm a big fan of Eric Worre, and he speaks about the idea of moving from a poser to an amateur. And if you're on this call, we're well past being posers. We've really moved into being amateurs and professionals in this business. So I want to just break this down a little bit. There's a famous saying in our business that I've heard from multiple leaders in multiple different companies, and it goes something like this. You treat your Enagic business as a professional, and it will reward you as a professional. You treat it like an amateur or a hobbyist, and it will pay you the same way. It took me a while to figure this out, but my paycheck really indicated what that was. And as you learn and as you grow, this doesn't mean full-time. But it means whatever hours you're going to put into this project, you're going to delegate them to be professionally minded, orientated hours. So I really feel like 5 hours a week is kind of a good minimum amount to really start to see traction. Some people will do less, but you're not going to see the same growth as someone with a minimum of 5 hours. Part-time is really looking more like 10 to 15, and full-time, you're moving to 25 to 40 hours a week. So it took me a while to get into treating this business as a professional for myself, and when I did, that really started to pay me the same way. So when I got into Enagic, my story is I started part-time and started to share the water and follow the steps that our upline has told me at the same time. And it took me about 5 or 6 months to get to 4A. And when I realized when I got there is really a turning point, a tipping point for me. And there's a lot of people in our businesses that are, 3As, 4As, just getting into 4A level. And this is the part of the business that gets really exciting. You're taking half of the 8 points, and you've learned how to do it. I was talking to my girlfriend Kristen tonight, and just going over how much I've learned in the Enagic business and how much knowledge I have to give, that looking at any other activity or any other way to start from the beginning again, it just doesn't make any sense. This is where the 4A finds themselves, where you're at the point where you can really go lean into the project and really stretch to get 5 to 6A, because you know how to sell machines. You know how to do the paperwork, you know what's expected, you know how to do follow-up, but now it's about creating duplication. And so the idea of duplication comes from professional habits. So I just want to go over a few here. Learning the skills and follow the systems. As we've mentioned, it takes 10,000 hours to be a professional or a master at any one task, but it only takes 20 hours to be competent. So for new people or people getting going, have you given 20 hours to develop your skill set in certain areas and following the systems? There's a lot of people that get in and they want to do something new rather than just plugging into what already exists and following it. Professionals don't look at reinventing the wheel. They look at what's been successful, they follow the traits and the actions of those people, and they duplicate and coach others. They plug people into the systems. The attitude of the rock: no excuses, no distractions. I don't know about a few of you out there probably will agree with me. In the last couple of weeks, there's been a number of big distractions that's kind of popped up. That can be personal stuff in people's lives, but it all can be stuff in the industry, network marketing, stuff with Enagic. Things change, people move on, different things happen, and at times it can be a little bit rattling. Here's what the professional does. They stand like a rock in the river, and they watch everything float on by, rather than getting caught in the storm and participating in it and losing energy, losing traction, starting to talk about it. This is so key. You see every change, every opportunity as positive, and you frame it that way, and you continue to do the actions that got you to where you are. Too many people I've noticed get caught up in the drama, get caught up in making excuses, wondering what they should be doing, pointing the finger, and it doesn't serve anyway. These are the actions and the mindset of amateurs. Being a professional means you stand strong, you stand solid, and you coach and mentor that to everybody you bring into your organization and all to your leaders. That's what the pro does. So when we get tested, and we will, in network marketing and in Enagic, things change all the time. People that we think are going to stay, go, and stuff happens in the larger economy, stuff happens in our smaller economies, in our families. It's about staying the course and staying committed to your dreams, your vision, your team, your organization. Right? Professionals track numbers. Amateurs don't know what's happening in their business. A few webinars, probably about three or 4 weeks ago, I did a webinar on tracking the numbers. We sent that PDF out to everybody. I hope you were able to receive it. Tomorrow is December 1st. First month to really get going and tracking your numbers from the beginning of the month to the end of the month. This shows you what you're really up to, because sometimes we have an idea that we're doing stuff and we're motivated and moving forward and talking to people, but when we actually start to write it down, the numbers don't lie. And the numbers give us a really indication of the results we're getting. So if you're not getting the results you want, start to track your numbers, and then we can adjust those numbers. Right? Consistent professional activity. This is the key. No matter if it's 1 hour a day you're putting into this business, or you're putting 5 hours or 8 hours a day, being consistent over a period of time generates traction. That traction generates you a business. Putting some energy in and leaving, doesn't get people on board with you because they feel that inconsistency and effort. Right? Support upline team events, webinars, and emails. Professionals realize that it's not the message that they're not the messenger, they're not the message, they're the messenger. And the sooner that we can really understand that, we take ourselves out of the equation and we plug people into the system. Because the last thing you want to do is have everybody relying on yourself. Amateurs don't make this mistake from the beginning. They know that it takes a team and it takes a system in order to duplicate large organizational depth and really the lifestyle that you're looking for 5 to 10 years down the road. So remember, be the messenger, not the message. Plug people into the webinars, to emails, to team events, and show up for them yourselves. These things are all being put on by upline leaders that are building businesses. Where people plug into them, that's where we give attention, and that's where we see others are wanting to make things happen. So if you're not showing up, chances are nothing's happening in your business. If you're showing up, you're active and you're motivated and you're making it happen. So super key. Those are the actions of habits of a professional. Live demo etiquette. I just want to touch on this because as we've all been out to live demos, there's some good ones, there's some bad ones, there's some ugly ones, there's all kinds of stuff happening. Having been at the front of the room for probably 300 or 400, 500, who knows, over the last 5 years, I've really gotten a good sense of what makes a great demo and what doesn't. And so I just want to put that out because just imagine you've got a new person, you're bringing them to a presentation, and it goes sideways. And that's not the expression. That's not what we want to represent and present ourselves at. We do such hard work to get someone out to a show, to a live presentation. We want it to be utmost professional all the way through. So, demo etiquette, attend and invite guests. This is your confirmed work night. For people that are doing real part-time hours, maybe 5 hours a week, this is the one evening that you want to show up for. And then the rest of the hours are spent inviting someone to that event and then following up. People that come to live presentations are far more likely to purchase and to become business builders, right? That may not be the first exposure. It might take them a couple exposures to get there. You know, you might have to do an email, then watch some stuff online, you go back and forth, maybe it's the third, fourth, fifth, sixth exposure they come out to a live event, but the live events is what really drives our businesses. Be early. Introduce your guests to speakers and others, building rapport. It tends to be the same people are always late, so I encourage, if you find yourself in that category, make it 2016 that you're never going to be late for anything else in your life. Right? It is so professional and courteous to both your guests, to the event, to the speakers and so forth, to show up actually early. You're either early or you're late. There's no in between, right? And in our business, it's about building relationships. So if you show up 15 minutes early, your guests get settled, you get to introduce them to other people, introduce them to the speaker, everything's relaxed, there's rapport building, it's perfect, rather than showing up a little bit late. It throws off the speaker because normally it's smaller events. Right? And it makes a bit of a kind of a mess, people coming in. So, you know, if you're going to do it right, come early. Dress professionally. Attract your ideal prospect. Took me a couple years to get this because I had my own style moving into this, and I really meant move my own self from being an amateur to a professional. And it was the supportive way that really helped me in Straight Line Persuasion by Jordan Belfort, of really looking and dressing the part that you want to be. Right? If you want to write the script for what a 6A2-3 gazillion looks like, how do they look? How do they dress? How do they act? How do they walk? Start to be that person. And that energy is going to start creating the results that you're looking for. Remain attentive and create no distractions. Too many people are on phones or emailing in the back. Yes, we've gone to the same presentation. You might have seen the same presenter 100 times. They say the same jokes and so forth. But to play along and be involved really allows the group energy to be in a certain place rather than being distracting. Being at the back of the room, having private conversations or so forth, you know, it just doesn't work. Be there, show up, be present, learn, help other people in the room. And what I really want to stress is this last point, a 30 to 45 second practice product and professional business testimonial. For me, presenting what I would love to do and what I've seen recommended by big earners in many sales businesses is you start your demo with testimonials. Imagine getting to the front of the room and being able to have 4 or 5, 6 30 to 45 second solid testimonials to start the whole thing off. This would be awesome. Far too often testimonials start to happen and they drag on to 2 or 3 minutes, and it's wonderful to hear everyone's profound stories, but it's a 30-second testimonial, a 45-second testimonial that creates intrigue, gets the point across, and if someone wants to know more, they're going to talk to you after. But having 4 or 5 of these testimonials to roll out and keep the energy moving is far more ideal than slowing it down and losing it with testimonials. So this professionals practice this at home. They record it, they talk to it in the mirror, and they do it over and over again. You got a great product testimonial and you got a great business testimonial. I love to call on that. And so, you know, if I'm presenting or anyone's presenting, go up to them and let them know, hey, you know what, I've got a practice great 30, 45-second testimonial on the product or the business. If you need one, please let me know. Fantastic. That's a professional supporting the speaker at the front of the room to do a great job. All right. Here's some tips. Professional sponsor up. Now, this is the scary part of our business, personal development with a great compensation program. Welcome to Enagic. And in the beginning, we tend to look for people at our same level or even below because we feel most comfortable there. Professionals realize in order to grow big businesses, they need people that are better, smarter, have more respect, have more energy going on in the world, so they sponsor up. And I know we're all sitting out there, wherever you are right now, and myself here, that I've got a list of people that are sponsoring up to me that create intimidation. Those are the people we want to talk to in 2016. For me, the idea of 2016 is starting a brand new class, right? Get your class of 2016 new distributors and new people on board. Making the list now and getting those people out is going to be crucial, right? Promote themselves. Professionals promote themselves, the system, the business, and the vision, teaching duplication from the beginning. If you're just focusing on the water, you're just going to be selling water machines, and you've got a great paying, high-paying sales job with Enagic. But you want to build a business, promote yourself, the system, the business, and the vision. It's got to be something larger than just providing really great health. That comes along with the vision that we have. So professionals are always talking in that place, right? The PH Alliance, creating duplication, we want to tie people into this. So as your business grows and expands globally, you've got a resource for people in the fringe areas to plug into so they feel part of everything. So always promoting what we've got going on so that if someone's looking at your business, they're looking at it more than just you. They get you, but they get this system, they get this team, they get all this organization, they get these webinars, and they feel like, wow, here's an opportunity where I can get in where I'm supported. Unless you show them all that, they don't know it exists, and it's scary to start a new business. Professionals let people know, hey, there's a huge support net waiting to help you. Professionals invest in skill training and personal development, putting a percentage of money aside to do this, right? Always growing yourself. That's the best investment you can make. Make sacrifices all the way through. I know for me, it's just been personal sacrifices along the way. And one of the things, you know, in our house, what we say is I say, you know, we sacrifice now so that we can play later. And I've really taken that to heart because at my age and where I'm at and this technology and the opportunity in Vancouver and the globe right now, now's the time to lean into this. I'll take a long-term vacation down the road when the momentum is there and the traction's been made. So, you know, really understand you need to make some sacrifices to get things going. Always follow up. Amateurs, we do so much work in reaching out to people and connecting to people, inviting them to take a look at our, you know, product or opportunity. And in the beginning, I would not follow up with people, even though I had said, hey, I'm going to do this, but I left it so wishy-washy that maybe I lost the day and I'm like, oh, it's, you know, I didn't follow up when I said I would, so now it's going to be kind of weird, or, you know, you haven't seen them for a while and you're wondering, you know, should I follow up? That's the activity of an amateur. Professionals do this. They make a decision, they make an agreement with someone, and respecting them and respecting their own time, they follow through and follow up at the right time. Right? People will respect that type of business activity, and you will attract that type of business activity towards you. So always follow up. Whatever you give your word to do, follow through. Right? Remain emotionally detached from outcomes. Professionals realize this is a long-term game, that one person does not decide their vision, their dream, their business. Right? It's the same activity over and over and over again. So the micro versus the macro point of view. Right? Amateurs will get caught up in the micro point of view. Right? This one person didn't join, all of a sudden they're crushed, this business isn't for them, and they're out. Professionals weather that storm, and they realize, hey, you know what? It's just not this person. Keep looking, keep doing the activities, and success will follow. Right? So there's some tips. And here are some personal suggestions. Be the type of prospect, sponsor, and leader you wish to attract into your business. It's really all about you, right? What you want to do. So let me repeat this. Be the type of prospect, the type of sponsor, the type of leader you wish to attract into your business. If you sponsor a new person, or reflect back how you were sponsored into the business and what worked and what didn't work for you. And then think about the new person that you've just recently sponsored or going to be sponsoring and what you want to provide to them. You may have been sponsored by a great person and there was some awesome stuff, but now you know what that looks like and what other activity could be added to it. So be the type of person that you want to be sponsored by. Be the type of activity that the prospect you want to find. You know, create the leadership that follows you based on your activity. All right? Success leaves clues. Study the people and the activities of people you wish to become like. Be coachable. If you're not getting the results that you're looking for, start talking to your upline and ask them what do they do and how do they do it, and ask them for some honest feedback on what you're up to, right? That's the best way to learn. I know for myself, I've used Wade over the last 5 years. Just give me honest feedback. And as we all know, Wade, sometimes he can, throw a punch and give you the truth bomb. It's been part of making the growth forward. I respect him and I appreciate him. I know he's got his best interest for me. So that's where I'm looking moving forward. I heard a little change in the sound. Wade, did you just jump on the line?
Yes, I did. I don't know. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah. Welcome.
Amazing.
Great. I'll just finish through my slides and then I'll pass it over to you when I'm done.
Good.
So, cool. So, success leaves clues, so follow those people, If you where you're at in your business, if you know someone in the Enagic is at the level that you want to get to, go ask them how they got there, right? They'd love to share. They're not going to tell you everything, but they're going to point you in the right direction so that you can take that next step, right? Be on offense rather than on vacation, right? Things happen much faster when you believe, right? So what I mean by this is we have the opportunity every day to reinvent ourselves and to take our business from where it is to the next level. You can either take advantage of that opportunity, and that takes real, concentrated effort. It takes a commitment. It takes following through with your own words, rather than going on vacation. Working from home and working in our own, home-based businesses and being entrepreneurs, there's this fine line about working and not working. And sometimes we even think we're working, but we're really not getting production happening. So be really clear. That's why I like tracking the numbers is really best, because that will dial you in with what activity is happening. And things can happen much faster than you believe. We were at a 6A meeting this last Friday, where there was a number of new ranks, and then there were some leaders on the webinar tonight that were there. I figured what the company handed out about $80,000 or $90,000 in the afternoon. One person got 6A23, third person in Canada, $25,000 bonus, and their story was people are doing this faster, and it's about changing this mindset. Yes, you can get to 6A in 2 years, you can get to 6A in 6 years. You can also get to 6A in 8 months, 12 months. You can get to 6A2 much faster. So realize that every day we can change the speed of our business. Professionals look at their radar and find out, am I going slow or am I going fast? How do I bump up the radar? How do I move faster? Contacting more people. So believe things can go much faster. And embrace personal development and lead by example. Please join those they respect. People join those they respect and believe can help achieve their goals. This really rang home to me a couple years ago, realizing that people are looking to be rescued, and they're looking to connect with people that they identify can help them achieve their goals. They can actually get them to where they want to be. If someone hasn't joined your business or not returning your calls or kind of flaked out a little bit, look in the mirror. What activities did you do to either mirror that, or what are you doing that that person may not feel that you're the person to be able to take them to where they need to be? And it all comes back to us. So be the type of sponsor you want to be. Be the type of leader you want to be. Embrace personal development and lead by example. Be willing to change. This is the best thing we can do in this business because it will force you to change. And here's what I'll lead with. Don't give up. Believe in yourself. What I found is too many people just give up on this, and what they're doing is really giving up on their own dreams. Yes, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. We've all heard that. The first year in this business is really about learning the business, learning some skills that most of us don't have, but treat it like a professional from the beginning, and that time crunch goes shorter, right? And you can get more traction much quicker. Treat it like an amateur. A year, 2 years, you're still in that, spinning your wheels. Don't give up, but treat it like a professional right off of the bat. Get the skill training that's required. And, of course, believe in yourself. Everyone can do this. In the 5 years I've been with Enagic and traveling around, I have seen so many 6A success stories from people that were just, from the outset, there was no way they were going to do it, and they were able to do it. And not only did they do it, they've grown as an individual, they've grown past what they even believe possible for themselves. And that's possible for everybody on this webinar and everyone who's watching this. Right? We've got a great opportunity here with Enagic to grow as a person, grow a great business, help people around the planet, and everyone can do it. So I invite you guys to, go strong for the last 3 weeks of the year, really before the Christmas time, and get prepared for a huge 2016. All right. On that note, I'm going to invite my co-host Wade Lightheart, flying in from Bali to join us on the webinar. Wade, are you there?
Hey, Krill. Yeah, thanks so much. I mean, wow, what a great presentation. I was able to listen through Skype as I was going through major electronic monkey dome. Anyways, I'm here by Monkey Forest, and apparently they've been playing with my computer. But bottom line is we're here, and I'm so happy because first and foremost, I want to reach out and say hi to everybody. We're here in Bali, Indonesia, which is great. I'm in this wonderful place called it's called the Ubud Center. You can kind of look around here, just on the edge of the rice paddies. It's pretty awesome, and it's a whole bunch of online internet marketers here from around the world who are living, who kind of hang out here in hot places and figure out how to do things. And that's the great thing about this business is we're here to help you figure out how to do this. And with Creel, what a wonderful presentation. I wasn't able to listen to Skype as we got up, Bill, and I'm really, really grateful for you sharing that specific. I think it was well put together. And for people who are listening on the call today on the PH Alliance, I would encourage you to review these things each week. And also, if you can go through the Eric Worre's GoPro and rate yourself. And then just pick one a week and go through one of the webinars. We addressed most of them, or go to the book and just say, okay, this is the week that I'm going to master this skill, and just pick one at a time. And it's action over perfection. So I don't know, Kim, are we able to see my screen?
I'm going to pass, because you and I, and also the recording is all the same name. I'm going to try to see if this one is you. I've got it narrowed down to knowing it's one of two. So let's try this one first and see if it lets you. It's going to ask you if it say show your screen.
Yep.
Yay.
Good call. All right.
That's
so
I'm hanging
I guess
out
I can
with.
go.
I only hang out with winners. So what can I say?
So can you see this screen okay now?
Yes.
Okay. Let me actually hang on one second. I'm just going to scoot this over to the side, and then we're going to go into the presentation. So today's presentation for people, a lot of people have asked me in Enagic or have wondered about, they want to become a trainer, they want to talk about how do they make a powerful presentation when it comes to doing the demonstration or talking about the business or even sharing about the water. And what I'm going to share with you today is 3 keys to a more powerful presentation. I've been doing presentations literally all my life. Way back as a kid, my grandmother and her sister used to get me up on tables in a bar singing when I was 3 or 4 years old. So this was kind of a pretty natural process for me, but even that, I had to learn specific skills in order to make this work for me. And the more skills that I learned, the better that I got at it. So presenting and sharing information is a skill, and I want to be clear is that you can always get better. I'm always looking for ways to go. But there's 3 keys. There's 3 keys if you have 0 skills, if you have no capacity in this and have this. And I'm going to keep it in this format because for some reason I lose the little cursor over there. You guys can see this okay? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, great. So here are the 3 keys, and I learned this from a guy by the name of Jesse Elder. He's a phenomenal personal development person and a great speaker and a great guy. And I was just listening to his webinar the other day, and I've heard this a lot of different ways, but I think this is what is a great funnel for being able to look at what makes a great presentation and also to review your own presentation. And really, when it comes to Enagic, we're all doing Enagic. We're all doing the business of Enagic. We're all sharing the water, we're sharing the business, we're sharing all that sort of stuff. But what we want to talk about is your personal branding system. For example, Creel presents the business in a different way than I do. Siha presents the business in a different way that I do. All of our team members have their own story, their own brand, their own way of being an Enagic distributor. So basically what we do is, number one is we share the water, and number two, we share the business, but we do this in a way that is in alignment with who we are as a person. We're not asking you to become like Siha or become like Creel or become like myself or become like Danny DeMacaulay. What we're here to do is share you the techniques, the strategies, the components, but we also want to encourage you to put your own brand in it. Do the due diligence, follow the steps, but be you. So if you want to check out on a deeper level, you can go to jesseelder.com. I think he's got some great stuff, and he's got an amazing story about, like, he's able to generate an incredible amount of money out of a very small amount of people because of these principles. So here are the three components that you need if you want to be a more powerful presenter. And the first one is authenticity. The second one is power. And the third one is clarity. And I think whenever you've nailed it, you know, you've talked to someone and you were just on fire and you were having it, you had these three things all working kind of synergistically, and that allowed you to communicate. And once you understand these three things, you're going to be able to look at your business in a way than ever before. You're also going to be able to look at your presentation and self-monitor. And, you know, one of the things is you know, Eric talked about is plan, do, review. So every time you give a presentation, you know, what was your plan? Did you review it? And then how do you improve it? So let's go to first where people misalignment. And I see this all the time. And one of the when I see presentations and stuff, oftentimes people will ask me for my feedback, and I'll give it to them, and they get upset because, you know, I might share something that they're not comfortable with. And I'm never here to criticize, but I am here to encourage you to be a professional, to be excellent. And the first one that people get misaligned with is they're not being authentic. Okay, so here's what happens is they come out, or excuse me, they're not clear. There's a good example. Say there's a misalignment. So what happens is they come out, they're sharing their message. It's really powerful. You know, this is the greatest water. They're naturally sharing it. There's other sort of stuff, but they're not clear to what they're trying to communicate to that person. Okay, so what it means is you know, they're talking about the water is the greatest thing since sliced bread. They have a big heart. They're sharing it. You know, they want people to get better. They want people to have that wonderful experience. But the end of the story is they're not clear. The person's like, "What are you trying to communicate to me? What is this for?" They're talking about, you know, ionization. They're talking about hydrogen molecules. They're talking about you know, the pharmaceutical criminality or whatever the story happens to be, and it's powerful and it's authentic, but the person is just overwhelmed, and the result is you're like a bull in the china shop. You're kind of smashing around the purple, and you know, if you were in a china shop with a bull, what are you going to do? You're going to get out of there, you know, because you know it's going to be just broken dishes and pain and suffering. So when you're talking about this, remember that person that's getting this, they're in the place that water's just water. That's where their mindset is. So if you're coming across as this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, I'm super authentic, but you're not clear about what you're offering, they're not going to get it. Misalignment number two, not being authentic. So what happens is maybe you're powerful. You've practiced the demonstration or the presentation a million times. You're crystal clear about it, but you're kind of following the sales techniques or following the cookie cutter program. You haven't let your own personality. You're trying to present like somebody else. And you know, I can remember this is one where I've had challenges because I'll listen to a particular speaker or a particular presenter or salesperson, and my natural conditioning from neuro-linguistic programming gets me so that I can kind of imitate and mimic that person, which is a good skill. But if I go too much over the top, I become like that person. And what happens is it comes over is there's a tone, or there's a way of languaging what you speak that's not authentic to who you are. And this would be kind of the you know, in the Wolf on Wall Street. In other words, if you think of the Wolf on Wall Street, the movie, when he's conditioning these people to be the executive VP of this company, and he has basically a bunch of people who he's conditioned to be robots. And the story is so good, and it's so powerful that the system is so clear. But the individuals are not necessarily being authentic. They're just bullying their way through it and smashing through it. And what happens is they end up hooking people into a business or selling people because of their technical skills, but they're not really following, you know, that heart base or being authentic. Or maybe they feel successful and somehow they feel out of alignment for themselves internally, and that's always a problem. So you want to be yourself. It's really, really important. Now the third one, and this is another one that at different times in my life I've suffered from this one, or had people suffer from it, I should say, is you're totally authentic, you're totally clear, but you're not powerful. In other words, you're not presenting this from your heart. You're presenting from your head, or it's kind of apologetic. It's soft, and you're like, oh, well, you know, we got this water, and yeah, it's really cool, and maybe you'd like to try some someday. It's not powerful. You know, you're sincere, you're clear, you know the ins and outs of the business, but you're not presenting it with a strong posture and a powerful presentation and that sort of thing. So with these three things, you go back to authenticity, you go back to clarity, and you go back to powerful. That's what creates the kind of superstar experience. Now, here's different things when we're talking about your own personal brand, or how do you personally brand yourself. And that is, there's the product, there's the service, and there's the experience. People talk about this. I mean, if you look at the 310s in the Straight Line Persuasion, which is an excellent format of salesmanship, and I recommend that everyone check that out and understand what needs to happen in the process of communicating your ideas, or selling your idea, selling your service, or selling your product, or selling your experience. These are the things that you're going to talk about, that people commonly talk about is, you know, what's the product? So with our product, it's a water ionization system, and, you know, there's all these other different things, and we could talk about this. With the service, we can talk about the points of sales and service all around the world, the fact that we've been in business for 4 years. When we talk about experience, we talk about business with a heart, we talk about how we're helping people, how we're creating positive experience with physically, financially, and those are part of the things. But there's another level, okay? There's a fourth level, and I feel this is when you get to the fourth level, this is where the magic happens. And one of the people that I was studying this with, interesting enough, was Cynthia Brigante. And I looked at Cynthia Brigante, and who's making millions of dollars in her business. And I realized this is one of the things that she does. She offers transformation. She offers an experience for someone, and she talks about her transformation from someone who was working as a, you know, an immigrant worker, making very little money, struggling and stuff. And she shared her story about transformation. And she offers it in a way that people can transform their lives. And she shares it. She's authentic, she's clear, and she's powerful. And she offers a possibility to transform people's lives financially. The question is, how do you do this? What do you need to do? And in order to do this, and this is the biggest mistake I think people make in Enagic, is they don't find out their prospects' inner desires. So if you want to really take this to the next level, you've got to find out who you're talking to and what their desire is. Most people are focusing on the features. A few people are focusing on benefits, okay? But if you focus on what that person wants, and in order to do that, you need to find out about them. You need to meet with them. You need to talk to them. You need to interview them. What are they looking for? Are they looking for finances? Or, you know, are they looking for a better life? Are they looking to work less hours? Are they looking to make a difference in the world? Find out what that is. And then when you present the Enagic opportunity, you present from that aspect where you're talking about how this is going to allow them to get what they want. So you got to understand, and there's a great video, Simon Sinek, I believe, it's the why behind companies. If you understand the why behind their want, okay, if you understand why they want to do it, you're offering the ultimate transformation. You go from features to benefits. You start sharing with them how this experience is going to provide the benefits, why they would want to do this, right? You also got to connect after the result is achieved. So as soon as they make a machine or they make a sale or whatever, or they get started in purchasing a machine, that's the most critical time to start taking them to the next level. The relationship really gets going once the sale happens, because you want to develop a customer for life. You want to develop a business partner for life. You want to develop a relationship for life. So for example, one of the reasons we started the PH Alliance is that the organization grew so big. I felt that I wasn't doing a very good job at being able to connect with each and every person in the organization, and we created this so that we can provide transformation on a weekly, ongoing basis. That's our whole goal here. We're members of the Prosperity and Health Alliance, which is a division of the NAGIC. We have our group, we have our leaders with different abilities and personalities, and we're sharing with you in a way that allows you what we feel is to connect with you as best as we could if we were one-on-one, and to provide a place where you have questions, right? Because I know that if you're on this line, you want to build a business. Your why is you want to, you want to help people, you want to make more money, you want to live the dream life. So what you want to do is you want to present yourself as a global solution. And we create that, and one of the big things about talking about a global solution is going out to the big events. When you go out to a big event, the company takes on a global picture. You start to see, hey, wait a second, this is going everywhere. I'm here in Indonesia right now, and I'm seeing Kangen water everywhere. I came here a couple of years ago, I saw it in one place, and then the next time I came back, I saw it in 2 places. Well, now I've seen it in half a dozen places, and people are asking about it. People are looking at my bottles, they're wondering about it. So the other thing is, when you do events or you do local things, you create peak experiences. You anchor that with people, and I've gone to great events with Creel and Siha and many of the team members that are on this call, and it's a peak experience. Like we were in Vegas at the GoPro event recently, and this is a surprising experience for me, is that I left the hotel to go get on the lunch break to go to Whole Foods to get salad, because this is something I do when I travel, and I've instructed that to a lot of my people that in order to stay healthy, I get a transit. And I came into the Whole Foods at the Las Vegas event, or on Las Vegas Boulevard. There's a big Whole Foods there, and I came into the Whole Foods, and there was like over 30 of the distributors in our organization all at the salad bar at the same time. We literally had taken over this Whole Foods in Las Vegas. And for me, after doing this business for 8 years, it really affected me emotionally. I felt so good seeing my team members not only participating at the event, but they were connecting with each other outside of the event. They were all eating healthy food. I knew that they were promoting this on a deep, deep level. And years ago, Siha, he told me straight up when we were driving in the car the first 8 weeks, listen, buddy, I don't care about the food and all that sort of stuff. Just teach me how to do the water business. That's all it was. And here was half his team was already in that place. So it was really amazing. One of the things that I think Creel is really good at is talking about making a results checklist and doing this. And this is an area that I've not been as good at. And one of the reasons I do these calls is I find that if I put these up there, I want to create a new checklist for my distributor. We do have the tools and system now. Creel's coming out with his new book, which is phenomenal in regards to these sort of things. And also, you can just always refer back to the GoPro series, that book, GoPro. I think you should read it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and then again. I've been reading it over and over again, and each time it's like oh man, I need to do this. The other thing is you want to design a peak experience. I can think of some of the peak experiences is, I remember going out and traveling out on the back roads of New Brunswick with Lamont in the car. I remember Siha and I, hanging out in all along the I-5, and driving sometimes at 3 o'clock in the morning, these types of things, and really phenomenal experiences. I remember the first time that when Creel was starting the business, we took a road trip and we went to Sedona to a spiritual event. We went down to a Daniel D. McCauley event down in San Diego, and then we came up to Dr. Dave's place and stayed the night on Manhattan Beach, California. And I remember coming back to the car and I'm like, so Creel, what do you think of this business, man? And I knew he had a powerful experience. And when you do that with your team and have those experiences with people, I can still remember when Sabine first told me about Roger and what was happening for him. And I remember the first time that she spoke on stage to tell her testimony in front of a group. You know, she was very nervous and shaking, but she did it. She got out of her comfort zone, and it was a peak experience for her. And then, you know, a couple years later, she's like at the master training, and she's putting those on. She completely made these experiences. And so when I see these things happen, it anchors me deeper and deeper, way beyond the water, way beyond the business. I'm seeing personal transformation. So choose the mode of delivery that's right for you, you know, when it comes to the water business. But I want you to think of this as a global solution. You know, I talk to people, I say, hey, look, this is the best thing for it's good for your body, it's good for the environment, it's an opportunity to take part in the new world economy. We've got points of sales and service around the planet. We've got a world-class training system, and we're taking people here from zero to hero. We can take anybody, no matter where they are, creed, place, or whatever, and help them make a lifetime of their dream. And I'm seeing this happen. You know, we're literally traveling around the world. We're changing people's lives, and we're changing our own lives, and we're having these set of peak experiences that very few people get to experience because they're into an old system. So I'm encouraging you to kind of go through these. I've covered a lot of stuff here and a lot of ideas, but just to kind of think of Enagic as your own. What is your brand? What's your offer? How to craft your offer in a way that's in alignment with you, in alignment with your values, that allows you to share that. And so when you're looking for your tribe, if you will, you're able to explain to them your vision of the future, right? And then find out when you're interviewing people what their vision of their future is, and if they have a vision or if they thought about the vision. In order to do that, you need to ask relationship questions, okay? So you need to get into it and say, so, you know, do you feel that you're going to get where you're going, you want to go in the next 5 years? Is your job really delivering what you want? Or, you know, are you making tons of cash, or, you know, are you struggling a bit? If you had the opportunity to travel, would you like to do it? If you knew of a way that you could actually change people's lives and see people transform physically and financially, would that be of interest to you? If you had unlimited resources, talent, and ability, what would your day look like? What would you be doing? Where would you be going? How would that be? And is what you're currently doing leading you in that direction? When you start asking and probing deeper into these questions, most people don't get asked these questions or think about these questions. You're going to have some people have some emotional responses, and you know, a lot of times people will kind of get to the point where they're struggling in the business. Maybe they're starting out and they're trying to do it, reinvent the wheel, as Creel said, or trying to do it their way, or trying to do all these different things, or you know, they want to figure it out, and they come to me in a fit of frustration. And you know, I'll ask some of these questions, and I'll ask them in a specific way, especially if I have a relationship with them, and then oftentimes, you know, they'll cry, or they'll get upset, or they'll be really angry or frustrated, because what we're doing is we're really tapping into the core, and we're tapping into the emotion, and that emotion is what puts in motion a transformation. Until you get that person hooked in their heart, until you've found out what really drives them, when you really find out what's going on behind the facade, that's when you're going to connect with them on an emotional level, and you're going to, not only you're going to have a really real relationship with that person, but you're going to be vulnerable, that person's going to be vulnerable, and there's a bonding that's created and a sense of trust, and then you go out there and you do all the things that we talk about. So APC, authenticity, power, and clarity. These three things. So be authentic, be powerful, and be clear. Find out about that person's goals, their whys, and share your vision, and find out what their vision is, and create a powerful vision together for the world. And along that, get out there and create those peak experiences, and you're going to find that you are going to have a world-class, dynamic business that not only brings you financial reward, but is so emotionally gratifying. It's truly the magic behind Enagic, and I think that's what gives Mr. Oshiro such power, is that there's a lot of things that people might think is odd or strange or this or whatever, but he has all these things. He's authentic, he's powerful, he's clear, he's got a vision for the future, he's connected with emotionality, he's got his heart into it, and you know, as Donnie Prosser says, he finds out everything he can about all the distributors, all the people. So That's how he got Donnie. That's how he gets a lot of people, is he finds out everything about him, and he's watching, believe me. And it's quite surprising. The last time I was chatting with Mr. Oshiro, he knew stuff about me. He knew where I was from. He knew what was going on. He knew what was happening in my business. I was really surprised that he had dove that deep into my own company. So with that, I think what we'll do is we'll turn it over to questions, and encourage everybody out there to keep on the calls. And we love having you. And get over there and start asking your questions right now if you have them. That can be on anything on the topics, and we'll shoot from there.
Awesome, Wade. That was great. Love having you on board, brother.
Well, it's a team effort. Teamwork makes the dream work, and it was great listening to you on Skype as I was banging away on the computer trying to get everything working. I have a new computer because my other one blew up the other week, so it wasn't quite as seamless as always. But you know what? It works because we've got backup in this team. Krill, thanks for covering for us while we're running, and Seehaw's doing his thing, and that's what we're all about in the Alliance.
Great. So let's take a look to see what if we got any questions popping in. Let's see.
Oh, we got Melissa. Yeah, tell Ubud that I love that place. Yeah, me too. It's great. Okay. Can you please review what it means by a results checklist for a new distributor? I'm going to turn this over to Creel, because I think Creel, you're really Creel. By the way, just so you know, I love Creel because he is systematized. And I'm not the best systemized guy. I'm good at following systems, but I'm not always the best at doing it. You want to talk about some of those things, Creel?
Yeah, sure. So Rachel, I can send you an email that has my getting a new person started checklist, as covered by Eric Worre numerous times, and I believe we even did a webinar on this a little while ago. So there are certain steps that we want to get everybody started with, and especially if you're deciding you're going to work with someone and they're making a commitment to do the business. For example, you get the system set up and they know how to use it properly. Right? They start to listen to GoPro and start to have a conversation with their sponsor, reviewing that they actually understand the inviting formula and the basic steps there. They watch you had mentioned the name Wade, which was just the Why video by Eric Simon, I believe.
Sinek. You can watch that on. It's one of those. What do you call those little TED Talks?
Yep, perfect. And then from there, I'm setting up a game plan interview with your sponsor, maybe your upline, and the new person. And in that game plan interview, we actually, break down what Wade just kind of talked about, and we get personal with what you want to create, how you want to create it, drawing up your 100 people list, how to strategically start doing that, start to practice some of the inviting. I like to do that 90-minute game plan interview, which is also described by Eric Worre with all my new distributors. That's what we mean by the results checklist for new distributors. Every leader is going to have slightly different. Wade has mentioned a few times we have a handbook that I've been working on. I'm really trying to streamline this process. So I've sent it out, which you would have gotten a link for. Check the table of contents. There's the emails in there. But we're going to release that in 2016 for the larger group because we're working on a website and a whole bunch of things. So we want to get really crystal clear on when we get a new person started, here's the checklist of things to do and what they need to do, because it's a two-way screen. And when people understand that, then there's a relationship going back and forth. So I can send you my checklist, and we can review that. We're going to call after this anyway. So that's what we mean by a checklist. And I'm sure every leader on here has some kind of thing that they use with a new person. And if you don't, then you want to get clear on what that is. And the PH Alliance is going to come out with one in January.
Great stuff. Great stuff. So we've got another question. By the way, I see some people. Hi to the Kangan Kittens. You guys are great. Someone asked, is the Ukon demo available online? Yes, if you go to my Facebook page, you can kind of scroll through it, I think. Do you have that on your Facebook as well?
You know what? I've got an email. I've got an email with all the webinar links on it. So why don't we blast that out to the organization after this? It takes us about 3 days to get this webinar on that list. So we like to send it out maybe once a month. I've been doing so people can catch up. Go ahead, Wade.
And by the way, we are building a website as it stands. It's in construction right now. So for the new year, our goal is to have the PH Alliance Business with a Heart website up, and it's going to have a resources section where all of this stuff will be made available every week. But in the meantime, just check in with my Facebook page, and you can scroll through it, and I always put up all the links every single week. And also I think these are sent out by Kim as well, so you can also check your emails on that. So they'll get more public as things go forward. We've got Bill. Thanks, Maureen. Great teamwork. Yeah, that's right. Bill from California. We're doing an in-home demo for Fuelings. How much time do you spend on the demo yourself? Do you find people more interested in the actual demo or not so much of what you are saying? Great question. And I'll let Creel answer this in a second, but I'm going to hit with a couple points. You know, we started out this business 8 years ago. The demonstration was about 2 hours. And that was pretty good if you were a really great presenter, but then we found, thanks to, you know, these things called smartphones came out, and all of a sudden everybody's attention span dropped below that of a goldfish, and that actually is a scientific fact. Goldfish have an attention span of about 9 seconds, and people have an attention span of about 8 seconds now. It's down from 12 5 years ago. Amazing. So all that say is that no, people aren't interested that much in what you have to say. I would get to the demo as fast as possible. In fact, you don't have to say anything. Just get out the demo. Do the water and oil thing. Hey, do you think water and oil mix? Do some drops. And get on with it. Get the machine and start showing them the stuff. You know, I think one of the big mistakes that I made early on is I fell in love with the long demo. I fell in love with being a water ionization expert. I fell in love with being a science. And you don't need to do that. And if you go down that route, every single person that I have seen go down that route slows themselves in the business by 2 or 3 years. Because here's what happens. Even if you're successful, what people immediately see is like, well, geez, Creel, he's an ionization genius. Or, you know, Antonina, she's a nutritional genius. I can't be that. And you have to realize that your business is all about duplication. So you're better off to show a video, do a few drops yourself, show a business presentation. So that here's what I do. I show this video, and I show this video, and then I ask people if they want to buy a machine. Can you do that? The person goes, yeah, I can do that. And that was the big switch. So you need to move yourself away from being the expert. You want to lead people to the experts as simple as possible. And the demo is super powerful. I saw the water and oil. I'm done. I'm like, my mind's blown. You got my attention. So if you look at commercials on TV, they're like 15 to 30 seconds. You know, if you look at pop-up ads or Facebook, people aren't on the website for 3 seconds average, or they're gone. So you have to realize that holding people's attention and having a 2-hour presentation, if you can get this down to 30 minutes on the water and 30 minutes on the business, that's great. As fast as possible. And I think you'll have better results. Creel, you want to add to that?
I sure do. I would agree with you. Less is definitely more. We've overcomplicated the technology because we have such a great product. We want to spend way too much time talking about it. And the reality is we don't need to. So here's what I do in public presentations. What I try to do is about 35 to 40 minutes on the water and 20 minutes on the business, 60 minutes no longer. And I still see presentations which are an hour and a half to an hour and 40 minutes, and it's crazy. You've lost them. You're not selling anything. We're just talking too much. So shrink it way down. When I do private presentations, Bill, like something you're going to do, and if it's real small, you know, it's just like a family, and it's real, you know, you're not putting a website out, you know, a projector or anything. You're just mom, pa around, I would do it in about 20, 25 minutes, and then ask them if they, and get excited about it, and just do that and show them a few different things. Don't have to go deep into it. When they ask questions, you just ask, hey, you know what, that's great. Let me send you some information, because you realize it's multiple exposures create sales. You do the demo, you give them the basics, you have something to do it in 30 minutes, and then you got 30 minutes to chat about it. All these questions are going to come up. You're going to say, great, let me send you an email that has a video by a doctor that's going to explain that way better than I can, and let's book a time that I can talk to you when you've seen it. And then you've booked the next time you get to connect with them. You do that multiple times, it leads to sales, versus trying to hit a home run on the first time. We don't need to do that. It doesn't really work. So smaller bite pieces of information, with always having the next contact booked by the time you end this exposure. That's what I find. And then with the business, it's the same thing. You present the business, show some numbers. If they're interested, you say, great, let me take you through a process. Let me start sending you some information, and let's do some follow-up, because we know it's going to be 4 to 6 exposures. So how do you create a list of exposures? By not trying to do it all at one time. Can't hear you, Wade.
Cool. Sorry, I muted myself here. I'm in the background of the wonderful here Ubud Center, so that's really, really critical stuff. Shorter, briefer, let the experts do the talking. That's the difference of being a professional. Professionals let other people be the experts. They're looking at time efficiency, and if you can turn on someone to one of the experts, there's so many tools that we got that will use the tools, use those things, and keep moving. I think you're going to go faster, and you also get past the. Sometimes people are just throwing up objections because they're never going to join. You need to get them out of the way as fast as possible so you can focus on the people that are ready to move. And you don't want to be dragging anchors along the way of someone that needs to know every little detail. It's not going to serve you. It's not going to serve your business. You can deal with those guys after you've made a lot of money.
I see a question here from Patrick, which I'll just jump in. You were talking about distractions earlier. I know you touched on GoPro and other training programs, but can you please share your key technique to stay laser focused to growing your business? Would love your key technique as well. I'll tell you how do I stay laser focused is in 2 years I want to be living in Mexico. And so I am really clear with what my dream is and my vision, and every distraction is the same distraction, and I don't have time for it because I want to create my ultimate lifestyle. And so all this stuff comes along, and I'm going to be the rock in the river and let everything float by because I'm here to grow a business that gets me to the place where I want to be living the lifestyle of my dreams. So, you know, I'm building a place in Mexico. We're moving there. We want to have an international business. I'm talking about me and my girlfriend, Kristen, you know, potentially a family, all that stuff. That's my why. That keeps me laser focused. I do not get distracted by Facebook wasting time when I've got to build my vision and my dreams. So if you find that you're getting too distracted, look in the mirror, drop in and say, why am I doing this? Because the why that you've got right now is not big enough, not strong enough, because you're getting distracted. Because when it's big enough and strong enough, there is no distractions. And I know there's like people on the line that have families and kids, laser focused because they have so much why to what they're up to and what they're doing. The thing in the modern world, we have too many options. So we keep floating around, lock in, figure out what you want, you know, start telling other people, this is what I'm doing, this is where I'm headed, you know, you want to be part of this, and that will happen. If you don't know where you're going, it's hard to get other people to come with you.
Great stuff. I'm going to refer back to way back in the day when I was bodybuilding. And I learned from one of the top pros that getting into contest conditioning, getting really low body fat, is very, very difficult, and it requires as much focus as anything I've ever done in my life, especially because you're fighting all these biological systems. And there's a way that you handle food cravings, because you get them. And everything that food came in was, I would just look at it and I said, is this helping me get to my goal, or is this keeping me away from my goal? And it's the same thing with anything that's distracting you. Write down what you do in a regular day. Time yourself. I was at a Brendan Burchard High Performance Academy about a month and a half ago, and he shared with me one thing that I thought was really impressive. If you're answering your emails or going online in the first hour of the day, you're 27% less effective. This is a proven fact. So you have to realize, are you being reactive to life? Are you reacting to Facebook? Are you reacting to your email box? Are you reacting to your social calendar? Or are you planning out, I work from this time to this time, this is my work time. I'm not answering emails. I'm not on Facebook. I'm not doing this. I am reaching out. I'm contacting people on my list. I'm setting appointments. I'm doing appointments. And I'm following up. And you set those times away like you're at a regular job, doing this up. That's a pro. When you do that, you do the sets and reps and you set it out. And here's the other thing. You need to get somebody to make you accountable. And I'm not talking about hosting a group where you all sit around and sing camp songs by the fire. Okay? I mean, there's one of the things that I think it's the magic of Enagic, and it can also be the tragic of Enagic. Just because you show up, you're participating by being in the room, or you read a book, or you listen to a video, or you show up on these calls, and no disrespect to that screen, you've got to put the stuff in action. And I think there was a big, a big thing that happened a few years ago with The Secret. And they're like, you're just going to sit here and meditate, and money's going to show up, and we're going to hug each other to the next level of whatever. Well, I don't know any one business person that has meditated themselves into business success, or that have focused on the mailbox and dollars showed in. And it doesn't happen. And so you've got to get honest about yourself. And the other thing, I'm going to go on a bit of a rant here, okay, because this is something people put these little memes up on Facebook. Everybody's got a meme. Here's the Gandhi statement. Here's the statement from, this billionaire or this world leader. Gandhi wasn't on Facebook, okay? Warren Buffett wasn't working his social media, okay? Like, Mother Teresa was in the streets of Calcutta. Martin Luther King was on stage sharing that he had a dream. Do you have a dream? Share that you have a dream and make that so magnetic that you don't need other people's stories or other people's memes or themes about it. But you've got to get honest about yourself. And I got to say, are you connecting with the purpose? And when you have your off time is just as important. Like, be off. Do your socializing. Do the fun stuff. Goof around on Facebook. Whatever that is. But you've got to put in place those parameters. If you don't do it, what happens is that you start showing up, and it's kind of like it's the whole participation medal that they hand out for everybody now. They give out ribbons because you showed up or you're part of. No, it doesn't work that way in the world. Showing up isn't enough. To start, it's not enough, and that might be hard for people to hear. But I'm saying this to you because right now, I've seen so many people that's changed their lives with this business. I've seen so many people's lives change because of the water. They didn't even do the business, but the water changed their life. It's so worth it. You will not get another experience that's like this if you buckle down and do the work. You'll be grateful that you did. Okay? So that's that. So there's my little rant of the day. Awesome. Thanks, Rachel. Great to have you on board. We love you. We're drinking Uino. Lovely right now. Okay, great. We love you too, Michelle. Here's some meowing kitty Kangan people. So, so here we got one here. Hi, Wade, Creel, Sheila and I will be going door to door tomorrow. How would you suggest we approach cold prospects in a limited amount of time? What would you show, and would you ask for the sale? Well, that's great. I salute you for going door to door. It takes a lot of courage, and you're going to get a lot of feedback. What I would say is you want to get those three things we talked about. You want to be authentic, you want to be powerful, and you want to be clear. So who are you looking for when you're going door to door? What is your objective from going to door? Do you want to get people on the water? Do you want to get people as salespeople? What is it that you want? So you're going door, but you're walking up to that door. You're going to feel all the fame. I've done door-to-door sales, so I think it's a great thing. You can master door-to-door sales. You're unstoppable. But what is, you're entering into somebody's world. You're knocking on that door, and they're like, hey, you know, they're thinking, you know, someone knocks on my door. I'm like, who's that? You know, you know. And especially there could be a lot of suspicion. There could be door-to-door salesman. You know, is it someone trying to convert me to a religion? Who wants money? You got to overcome that. And it's like, hey, you know, hi. You know, I'm Wade here in the neighborhood, and I just want to introduce myself and want to share with you that we have a water program that's going on. Have you heard about the new water project that's in town? People are like, what do you mean the new water project? And I'm like, well, let me ask you a few questions. We're doing a survey. You know, do you currently use tap water or bottled water? You know, are you currently getting a water service? No, yes or no. Well, did you know that we're offering a 30-day trial for a very special type of water, and that is new to the world, and it's something that may be invented. Would you be interested in doing a free trial? It could be as simple as that. Maybe you're treating it. So if they accept the free trial, well, in order for you to see if you qualified, let me ask you a few questions. Are you or any of your family suffering from any medical conditions, like arthritis, acid reflux, da-da-da-da-da? Right now you're getting data. How much water, how many people are in the family? How much water do you think you're consuming on a daily basis? How much money are you spending on this? You know, people start answering questions, and then all of a sudden you've gathered data. And now you say, okay, great, well, it looks like that you're qualified for a program. Here's how it works. We're going to deliver a gallon or 2 gallons of water or a gallon of water for every single person in your thing. And in order to do that, we just need to fill out these informations, and we want you to watch this little video to explain to you why this water is so important. And then you're going to show them the stuff that that's related to their why, not anything else, just their why. So you could start off with something as simple as that. You could, you know, it really doesn't matter so much. I think if you're doing door-to-door, a water trial is probably an easy sell. You know, hey, we're doing a free water trial. You know, 3 days, and the idea is that we're going to get you onto this water thing after. So that's a great way to generate business and customers. And I think back in the day, there was a guy in Hong Kong, I think who has an all-time sales record. He was doing like 56 sales a month doing door-to-door. So craft it, try it, and recognize, you know, it's going to take you 500 doors to really get your pitch down. You're going to get beat up a little bit. And that's okay. Because think about it. Let's say you close one sale for every 200 people, every 200 doors that you knock on. You know, I just got to knock on 200 doors. Doesn't matter what your pitch is. 200 doors, cha-ching, cha-ching. And that cha-ching is going to keep going up more and more every month. So pretty soon, can you imagine every 200 doors, you get a couple $1,000? All I need to do is make $200,000 to go knock on 200 doors, or 100 doors, or 50 doors, or whatever the number is. But be clear, be authentic, and be concise. Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I'll throw in. I wouldn't bring the machine. I see that's one of the other questions. And I would come up with a 2-sentence pitch that is really dynamic, such as, hi, we're in the neighborhood doing a water quality assessment. We're here to find out how happy are you with your present water quality, or your drinking water, or your tap water. So you're asking, you're showing up being like, I'm here to help you with something that you're already using, which is your water, and we're gathering information. How happy are you with it? I think whatever you do, try a few different things and try it a few times and be unattached to the outcome. You know, door-to-door is tough. But I think if you mastered a couple 2-sentence pitches that ask questions that were really there to help the person, you're going to engage a percentage, because it's going to be a funnel, you're going to engage a percentage that want to talk to you because they think water is important, and they're like, well, yeah, blah blah blah. That's when you can start to ask more questions and then suggest, well, we're offering this free water service for people that want to improve their health, because we've noticed ourselves that the water quality in the tap's not very good, and so forth, and just guide that principle. But like a 2-sentence pitch that is asking them about water quality stuff, I think would be the way to go. I'd try that.
Here's the thing, you're going to get feedback. So try a bunch of different things and see which one's working for you. And keep in mind, like I do online marketing. If you get a 1% conversion rate on online marketing, that's a massive success. Door-to-door, you can do at least that and probably more, because you are having that real-time interaction. So stick with it. Mm-hmm. That's what you want to do. I salute you, the effort and the energy, and just go for it. Recognize that you're always going to tweak and get feedback, and at a certain point you're going to get really, really good. And I would encourage you to watch the straight line persuasion stuff, because in fact Jordan tells a story about how he got so good at it. Door-to-door stuff is that even after he blew up and everything and he was coming back, he started a mortgage business and he went door-to-door. And he loved it. He would take guys out for an afternoon because he loved doing door-to-door sales, because there was really no better way that he could make a lot of money very quickly. And so kudos to you guys.
Definitely. I see there's a question from Deborah. Yes, I have definitely been encouraging people to take advantage of the tax sales advantage at the end of the year. This is how I do it. People that I know have expressed interest either directly to me or some of my prospects in my downlines, I'll send them a text letting them know, hey, I just want to touch base with you, having a Christmas special, or it's the end of the year, wanting to make sure, I know you were thinking about it. It'd be a great time to take advantage of it because it is tax deductible, so the government's going to pay for a percentage of your healthy holiday Christmas gift for you and your family. And move along with that. So definitely, Christmas is the time to make specials for people. So reach out, let people know what you got going on.
Yeah, absolutely, great stuff. We got Bill Mabry that's asking, do you have a handbook that you give out to new distributors? Krill, you want to talk about your handbook? You want to talk about your handbook?
I've just created. We just take the information that we have, and I created a whole bunch of stuff myself, which we're still editing and so forth. And I would ask your direct uplines for their getting started process, and what is the getting started process. So Bill, look upline, and in asking your upline sponsors or upline leaders, hey, what's our getting started process? What's our getting started process? If it might become apparent that there isn't a clear getting started process, which will then allow momentum to start happening to create a really clear getting started process. So start there, find out what the process is. If there isn't one, then it's time to create one and ask your upline to create one with you, what works and so forth. Move it that way.
And going back, I'll add to that as well, because over the 8 years I've seen, I think, about a dozen different handbooks out there, and in variances and qualities, and it's real simple. When you get a machine, I think everybody should get a Health Success website. That should be the next set. The healthsuccesscenter.com or .net will be your own. Get your website. Go inside there, watch all the videos, go inside there, read all the documents, go inside there. Guess what? You got that. Third thing, make your list. Make your list and send your 25 text messages. From there, either meet them in person, drive them to your website, go with your upline sponsor or whatever to get you help with that process, and then see how your results were after the first 25, come back and next Monday, do the next 25, and go through there. And just keep doing that simple process. I would encourage everybody to read the GoPro stuff, get that book, buy that book, read that, because that is really going to show you how to be a professional. The water business is great. Our ionizer machine is great. But I think too many distributors get lost in comparing our ionizers against other people out there. They're not talking about the opportunity enough. They're not talking about the business. And I made all these mistakes. So just get down to basics. Buy your machine, get your supplies, get yourself a website, go through all the videos on the website, do that stuff, and make a list. That's the getting started process. That's it. 25 names. So again, step 1, purchase your machine. Step 2, buy a healthsuccesscenter.com website. If you don't have one of those, just email me at Wade Lightheart. I'll show you how to get one. Okay. Step 3, go through the videos in the site, see the process and see how it tracks, all that stuff. By the way, get the one with the video picture on the front, the $20 one, so it tracks, so you know when someone has gone through your site, because you've got a built-in online tracking system, which is extraordinary. And number 3, make your list of 25 people, or as many people as you can, and text the first 25 with your sponsor. Hey, can we get together? Something I want to chat with you about, or what's going on? Let's meet up for coffee, and share that presentation over and over and over again, and start getting your numbers in there. That's just really that simple. All the other stuff will come in time as questions come up, but that's as simple as easy. You want to keep it simple and easy, and we found that been the most effective. And we will have more of these resources available as the site comes up this year, because this is, the organization has gone so big, and at Prosperity and Health Alliance, we're doing things a little bit different than some of the other groups. We're 90% the same, but we want to scalable a little bit faster than any of that. So, thank you for the perfect answer for the question in home. Okay, thanks, Bill, no problem. I have 3 demos set up for this week, and I'm going to do the demo like you said, Wade, and see how it works. Okay, great, Bill. Good luck. Track your results. And here's the best part. It never gets worse than right now. Whatever you're doing right now in the business, it's never going to be worse. You're only going to get better. You're going to get better at every one of these skills if you continue to do it. So whatever your conversion rate is, it's the worst it's going to be. So kudos to you. Great job. I'm guilty on the Facebook. Yeah, yes, we all are. We all are. So Sheila, great.
I see we got a couple questions here. I looked at Amanda. If you contact me directly, I'll get you hooked up with that. Michelle asked about bad experiences from wells. You want to ask, if you're working in that situation, you want to ask what they know about their well. Then if they need to add minerals into it, work with Ion Faucet. They have great recommended systems that will actually add minerals, alkaline minerals into the system, so now we can actually use our ionizer. Or you can use the calcium magnesium sticks that you can buy from the company that go right above the enhancing solution. There's the little lock, unlock. You can slide a stick in there. That will add minerals into the water so that we can ionize it. So there are solutions to dealing with that. The best thing to do is ask a lot of questions, because you've had problems with this. So don't overpromise and underdeliver. Be more thorough in asking, and don't put yourself into a situation where you kind of, you're uncomfortable and you kind of let them down. Let them know, hey, we can work this through, but we're going to need some information and check it out. And I would look at Ion Faucet. They have some great stuff. There was a question about so. Doug, here's the email I sent out. Good morning, X-person. I hope you had a wonderful 2015. Reaching out to my clients that have expressed interest over the last couple of years in a Kangen water system. Wondering if the timing is better for you to consider one of our systems for a healthy holiday gift. My Christmas special. Any system bought before the end of 2015 is 100% tax deductible, and I offer to have free shipment and installation on my behalf. I would recommend our junior model for $2,400, or you can finance for $65 a month. Let me know your thoughts when you have a moment. Have a wonderful day. I'm basically just saying, hey, I know you've been interested. Here's the special. Here's what we got. I'm not asking more questions. I'm just throwing it out there, because if I throw it out to the 8 to 10 people that I have in that group, maybe one will go for it, maybe 2. So it doesn't have to be long, but just be nice, complimentary. Here's what I got going on. I wanted to let you know about the Christmas special. Boom.
Beautiful. Well said, Kirill. And someone else out there says, I don't have an upline. Well, we all have an upline. It's a Nagic.
Mr. Oshiro.
Mr. Oshiro started out as a distributor. All the top leaders, you're in one of those organizations, whether it's Steve McCauley's or Cynthia Brigante's or whatever. So you want to. Great to have you on here, Bill. You want to be clear. You don't want to. I'm going to go on a little tangent here, and it also relates to some of the other questions. Is don't start putting roadblocks up in your business before they've happened. And a lot of people say, oh, I don't have a water line, or what happens if this? They start running all these scenarios as opposed to get a machine, get a website, read the information, do 25 texts, start setting appointments, and move on. And work with, and that's all you need to do. And one of the things that Eric Worre talks about in his program is to fire your upline. Fire them. Says, and thanks for the opportunity. It's great. And just become a pro yourself. There's enough resources up there. Don't let anybody, including your upline, limit your time. And a lot of people say, oh, geez, I wish I was in this group, or I wish I was with, so-and-so because they're really rocking the business. Well, let me share you something about everybody who's rocking the business. We don't have any time. I'm one of the worst people to be sponsored by. What? Where am I? I'm in Bali. I'm not much help to you in Vancouver. You got to understand. What I can teach you is, what are the resources, where you can think, how you can become an executive, and how you can solve problems for yourself. That is entrepreneurship. So great to have you on board. But I just want to be clear, just a little. Put roadblocks up in front of you. There's nothing stopping you. Someone's like, oh. What should the text look like? How long? What information? It's real simple.
That. Yeah, I answered that one anyway.
Hey, what's up? Try that. Hey, what are you doing on Tuesday?
I think that question was in particular with the special. So I gave you my version of it. Just be direct and hey, this is what's going on. What is the timing right for you?
And going back to what we talked about, authentic, powerful, clear. So talk in a language that you normally talk at. Be clear about what you're doing and be powerful. And that's just really what Creel covered a second ago. So it's not so much the technique.
Go ahead. I was gonna suggest we've been on the radar for an hour and a half. I think we've moved through all the questions. Thanks, guys, for sending that in. Why don't we wrap it up? And I'd love to hear, your advice to our audience of how to finish the year really strong. We've got December to go. We've got the holidays. What advice would you give to people to finish 2015 strong and have a great holidays?
Great question. I think first and foremost, get really clear about what you want out of this business. Get really clear about what we have as a business opportunity. There was a study of 200,000 people recently were polled, and only it was something like 11% were happy with their life. There's 89% people. So you want to go out there, you want to mingle. There's all these Christmas parties, there's all these social media. You want to go out there and you want to go out and have a great Christmas. You want to go out and not be thinking so much about I need to get somebody. What you want to do is you want to go out and recapture those relationships you haven't had. Host yourself a Christmas party. Get all your friends over that you haven't seen in a while. Go out to those things. Socialize. Start asking questions and building relationships and filing those things away so that you can, have this information, be celebration. People ask you what's going on, and you're like, you know what, I'm having a great time. I'm in this water business. It's so awesome. Hey, we'll talk about that after. Tell me more about what's going on with you and the kids. Turn it over to everybody else and start working on those relationships that you've had a lot of fun. Share that you're excited about something. Don't want to talk about right now. It's Christmas. Let's celebrate. But I'll get back with you in the new year. And if you had those people that are on the fence over that, hey, end of the year, Christmas is coming, perfect Christmas gifts, tax incentives, benefits, all this sort of stuff. Let's get one of those presents and put it under the tree. Haven't you waited long enough? Haven't you waited long enough? I mean, come on, let's put one of those things under the tree. It's Santa's Christmas. And last year, believe it or not, I had this experience. Literally, I'm going shopping with my dad. I go shopping, Christmas shopping, every year at Christmas on the day before Christmas. And family friends have been exposed to the water forever or whatever, and I chatted with them. They were waiting for me to come to town. They showed up at my house the day before Christmas and bought 2 SD501s for Christmas. And so probably the best Christmas present I got for Christmas, but it was also the best Christmas present they got. And if you can remember that putting it out there as what a great way to give health to somebody for Christmas. Haven't you waited long enough? Go ahead, Santa. Pull the trigger.
Awesome. Thanks, Wade. On that note, we're wishing you all a wonderful evening. Thanks for tuning in. Here's a note. It's going to be the first Monday of the month next week, so that means Daniel D. McCauley and Kungan One is going to have the 7 o'clock hour. Please tune in. Always entertaining to see the man at the top, and I'm sure he'll have lots to say this week or next week. With that, Wade, thank you so much for making the effort to plug in. Me coming live from Vancouver, wishing you guys an amazing start to December 1st, and let's finish 2015 with a bang, PH Alliance.
Let's do this great thing.